Yeah, hi. In this class, we are going to see how we need to use our five keywords. In the previous tutorial, I was explained what are the five keywords available in Java to handle the exception. These are the five keywords: try, catch, throw, throws, and finally. These are the five keywords are available in Java to handle the exception. In this today's class, we are going to see how we need to use these five keywords. By using these five keywords, how we can handle our class. So first, I'm going to write the Java try catch. First, we are going to use the two like keywords. First one is we are going to see try hyphen catch. We are using these two keywords in this class. uh, what is happening here, whatever the code in try block is used to enclose the code that might throw an exception. So in try block, which code we can write. In try block we can say that if any code is going to throw an exception, we know some code is see, if you write the all program, we cannot say the all, but if you have 20 lines of code, so in 20 lines of code, the only is 3-4 lines of code is going to throw an exception. Remaining 15-16 lines of code, it will not throw any exception. So the 3-4 lines of code we should write in the try block. So if we are going using the try block, we should write the 3-4 which code is going to throw, which going to get an exception. So what code we need to write here? The kind of code if you write here, inside the try block will take care of the execution or if you're getting an exception. It, and the try block, it must be used within the method. Whatever the method you are using, that is used in the method, like whatever you are using the try block, we should use inside the method. And and the try block must be followed either the catch block or the finally block. We cannot write the in single try block. We need to use either the catch block or finally block. We need to use it the catch or finally. I'm going to write the syntax for the try block. What is the try block? So this is try block. I'm closing the try block. So give the space between it, and this is the catch block. This is the catch block. This is the catch block for we are writing some exception. So we are going to write what is the exception name. If you write any exception name here, if you write any exception name, if you get any code, like if we are using some code here is going to throw, is going to getting an exception. If you are writing the related exception class, so just we cover the null point exception. So if you write the null point exception here, the catch block will handle the null point exception. After that, whatever the code is available here, it easily executes our code. So that's what I am going to explain here. So I think we cover the by handling the exception handling, so we can execute the normal flow of execution. We can execute the program as a normal flow without using the exception handling. We are unable to use the, if you are getting the this time, if you are getting it line number 4, line number 10, we are unable to execute this below lines of code. So that's what we are using the try block, and that's what we are using the exception handling. So this is the try catch is for the try catch is the syntax for, and this is the syntax for the try catch block, and I'm going to use the try and finally. So we know that this is the try, and I am going to write the finally. So what we can say, this is the finally block. So we need to use when you are using the try block, we should use either the catch block or finally block. So I explained the two syntaxes. This is for the catch block up to here, and this is for the try with finally block. So now we are going to We know that catch what the catch block will do. Actually, the catch block is used to handle the exception, and it must be used after the try block only. You know that the catch block is used to handle the exception. Already I wrote the some exception name. This is what the exception. If you're writing any exception, that the purpose of try block is used to handle the exception. So that is what we are going to use the catch block, and we are going to see a simple example with the try block. Sorry, without the try block, what will happen if you use the try with class block? What will happen? See, I am going to write the one example here. Here is our example. So I am going to open the one Java code. Like here, I'm going to write the one Java program, and what I'm going to write exception test 2. exception exception test 2. In that, what I'm going to use inside the main method, I'm going to use into value is equals to 50 by 0. This is what I'm going to use. This is what I am going to use. Just I'm printing just here what I'm going to print below statement. This is what I'm going to write, and we are going to see. Oh, sorry, and I need to copy the class name and to save our class, paste and save our program. Once the program is saved, so comes to our class Java C exception test dot to Java. See, we did not get any compilation error. Our program is compiled successfully. Right, I'm going to execute the program. See, we got an arithmetic exception. Have you seen where we are, like this is what I'm going to explain. See, it's showing the java.lang that arithmetic exception slash by 0. Whatever you are using the slash by 0, we will get an arithmetic exception. What we need to do if you get in this kind of exception? You know that what is the arithmetic exception comes under what? Which exception? It's a checked exception or unchecked exception. So already I covered. If you get any compilation exception, that comes under the checked exception, but the exception comes under the unchecked exception. So how we need to handle by using the try catch block? So just see our code. What I'm going to write here. I'm removing the statement. We know that whatever the code is going to throw an exception, the code must be right inside the try block. So I'm going to write the try block. See, this is what the try block. Just write the whatever the value we are going. The value is going to the statement which is going to throw an exception. So this is the code is going to throw an exception. What we need to do? Just we need to handle our exception. Like we got the arithmetic exception. Like just copy the same arithmetic exception, paste it here. Arithmetic exception. I am going giving the reference. So what we need to do? So what is happened here? Just find it. So I am writing the simple code for this. I am writing the simple statement. Just I'm printing the message. So what we need to do, I am writing. See, I think you understand. If you get any exception, it will comes to the catch block, and it's take care of the catch block. It's handle the exception, and whatever the code is available here, the code will execute or not. Now people check it. So what we need to do, like I'm going to again compile our program. So successfully compile our program. Our running our code. See what is happening here. Just look at it. What is showing here? So whatever the code you wrote, at the code is throwing an exception, and it's showing the java.lang that arithmetic exception, and below is also executed. So the below, but see the below statement. We wrote the sum statement after the our catch flag. See what is happening. In before example, just imagine what we did. If you get any exception, this below statement will not executed. We did not find this below statement in our command prompt. See our console. See, just check it. We did not find anything here, but we got the same exception. Java.lang that arithmetic exception, and as well as it found that this statement also. Here we did not find any statement. When we get any exception, here comes to the when we get without using these two statement, if you get any exception, like it executing, like if you get at line number 6, if you got an exception at line number 6, the remaining lines of the code it will not execute it. So by using the try class but we find that it's executing the below statements also. So this is what we need to use the try class back to handle the exception. This is the main concept of handling the try catch flag, and I'm going to explain about the internal working of Java try class back. So I'm going to use, and I'm going to delete the previous hierarchy, and I'm going to open the new MS Paint. That's what I'm going to write the code. So what we did right now, I'm going to write here like what we did right now. Like we can say that int value is equals to 50 by 0. So this is just we wrote the code. I think we aware of the code here. We wrote this one like rows. So what I'm going to see, this code is going to throw an exception. The same code I wrote here. Where is our painter? Just remove this one. Oh, so we wrote the value of 50, and after that what is happened inside, like once object is created, once the once if you receive this statement, we will get an exception. So just I want to explain the scenario what is happening internal. So what is happening inside like internal, just imagine. Once the code is executed, once the code is come to here, what is happened? The exception class, the object of exception class create an object. So what is happened here? Just the wait, see, exception object is thrown. The exception object is thrown. What is happening is exception. When we get any exception internally, it creates one object, which in object is contain the details of the exception, which class, which method, what is the exception, what is the description of the exception. In exception class object, all this information contained in the exception class object only. So the object is created by the exception. So once object is created, And once object is created, what is happening is, and once object is created, what is happening here, just see. So I'm going to like this. This is the our exception object. Just imagine this. We can say that. Now I'm going to write exception object. Excepty. This is what our exception object. So after that, what is happening between here? What is happen if the exception object is handled? So inside I'm going to write is handled. If it is handled, so I'm going to write the one flow of, see, this is what our flow, and after that it comes to the here. What is happened here? Just imagine, just look at it. Once our compile, once our executors execute this code, int value is equal 5 by 0. We know that if this code is going to throw an exception, if for example this code is going to throw an exception, internally the exception object is created. This is our exception object. So I'm going to write when the code is executed into value 50, it created one exception object. This is our exception object. The exception object is handled. It check if it is handled or not by using our try class back. So if it is handled, what it will do? If the exception object is handled, uh, if the exception if the exception object is handled, whatever the rest of the code is executed. So I'm going to write rest of the code is executed. So this is what I'm going to explain. So once the code is handled, it executes here. If it is not does not handle, it comes to here. If it does not handle, what is happened here? Just look at. If it does not have, what is happened here? It does not handle like it does not handle the exception. What it will do? What it will do? It go to the JVM and first print out exception description. Print the exception description. It it print the exception description and print the stack trace. Print the stack trace and terminate the program. This is what it's going to do. It do the three simple steps. What is happening here? Just I'm writing like I'm going to give our flow comes to here. So what is happened? This is our code. We are going to get an exception. So internally it creates an object for this exception object. It creates an exception object. The exception object is handled here. If it is handled, the whatever the code is available, the rest of the code is executed. If the code is not handled, it goes to the JVM. The JVM print these three messages: print the exception description and print the stack trace and terminate the program. This 3 it's going to do internally. So I'm going to show the what is happened and what is the message for the this. So I think now I'm deleting all those things. So I think just check. This is the print the exception name and print the start trace. Like this is what the what we can say. This is we can say that this is the start trace and terminate the foreground. Internet is the terminate the foreground. We can say that these all the start trace where it is what happened, where line number what is it, everything it's going to show here. So this is the method like exception, start trace, terminate the foreground. These three steps internally it's happened by the JVM when we get an exception without handling the try catch block. This is what I'm going to explain. Uh, once the three is completed, we can I think we are aware of that by using the try catch block, and we can say that I am going to write later like final catch block. I am going to like provide the here multiple catch block Java catch multiple exception, and we can say that how we can handle the multiple catch block. So in the same example, I am going to write multiple catch block. So what is happening here? I'm going to write the one more like value. Like here, I'm going to write what is int a array. I'm going to take the array of example. So int again, I'm going to use the int array. Int array. I like 5. See, I created the 5 array of object. This type of int. I created the int array 5 object. I'm going to create it in. I'm going to allocate the 5 memory allocations. That's in I am going to store the 5 array object. So what is happening here? What I'm going to write, just removing this line, we will write one a of 5. What I'm going to print a of 5 is equals to uh, 30 by 0. What I'm going to store at a of 5, because internally what is happening here, just I'm going to explain like at this point it's creating 5 object, 5 memory allocation like 1 2 3 4, like that it's create an object 0 1 2 4. So these are the 5 memory allocation is created in that in 5, like here I am going to write the value like 30 slash 0. Whatever the value we are getting 30 divided by 0, I am going to store the value in at this fifth location. The location I'm going to show. What is happen here? Just see what will happen. I'm going to write our code. Like what I'm going to first, I'm going to like save the program. I'm going to run the same example. Just imagine, just we handle the one exception, but I think here we are getting the two exceptions. So you aware of it when you create the int of 5. Internally, it's take care of the starting 0 index. Just what I provided here. Okay. See, again I'm going to write. This is the array. Just imagine that this is array. This is what 0 index. This is what the 1th index, and this is for the second. This is for third. So these numbers 1 0 sorry 0 1 2 3, this is our 4. These are the 5 values. 1, 2, oh sorry. So 5 values is going to store. In that I am using the 5. 5 means we don't have the 5 means again it comes to the here. Again it comes to here. But we provide the 5 values, but we did not provide the 6. So this it is not available. So what is happened? We will get the index out of bound exception. First thing we are going to see the index out of bound exception, and later we are going to see the same exception what is called arithmetic exception. So that's what I'm going to explain here. So I'm going to delete all those things. I'm going to run our program. So what is happening here, just see. We did not get any compilation fail. See, we did not find any compilation fail. Successfully the program is executed, compiled, sorry. This program is compiled successfully. So I am going to execute our program. So we did not find anything as of now. So just save it. 1 second. I think something we did mistake. So what I'm going to close this. I'm going to close all the thing. If I'm going to close, we will get. We will not use the thing. So let's see what is happening here. See, just we are not doing anything such here. Just we are assigning the 20 values. Just have a look once first. What is happening here? Let's compile successfully. See, we find that this is what I'm going to see the example. See, what is the exception? What we wrote it? Array index out of bound exception. We received the exceptions. So I think you are aware of it. Why we got an array index out of bound exception? Because of this value. Because of this value. Because of this value. If you like provide the 4 and run the like our program and run the, we did not get any exception. So what is happened? Just is shown the our statement. This says the below statement is shown. This what? So we internally it takes the 0 index. It starts from the 0 index. It create an object as it provides the index as a 0. So that's what I'm going to share the like provide the information. And if you use anything, we are handling our exception. So we are not getting any exception. If you are not providing this array index out of bound exception, we will get an exception. So we already handle this exception, and we using the what we call the t by 0. So it's simply executing the program. So what I'm going to write again, rerun our program. So arithmetic exception we are getting, and below statement is going to execute. So it's not showing the array index out of bound exception because of it's getting an exception here. So it's come to the here. It's not checking this array. So it checking only right side. If it find exception find, again come to this location. Once it's handled, so come to this location, find it to this. So this is what I am going to explain, and next tutorial we are going to see, like we are going to see like what we can say that nested try blocks. We are going to see the in next tutorial, next try blocks. So thanks for watching.